What many forget is that it's just as important, if not more, that we actually remember those who survived, living veterans.
Yeah, because it's what they've been through and how they cope. We're joined in the studio by two Afghanistan veterans, Geoff and Dean Helliwell, who are members of the Veteran Stand-Up comedy show.
And Geoff has a little something to say, I think.
Hello, CNN!
Get off!
Obviously, I realise we're not on CNN, I'm on GB News, but I've told all my friends back home I'm on a world tour and I'm in America. So can we do that again and just do it with attitude? Hello, CNN!
Hey!
Thank you. I've got a friend of mine called Minnie. She's about 5'4" tall. She wears dark glasses because she's visually impaired and she walks with a Zimmer frame. I bumped into her the other day at the cash machine and she said to me, Geoff, would you mind checking my balance? And I said, yes, of course I can. And I pushed her over. My name's Geoffrey Reid, thank you, and good morning.
Oh, great stuff.
Oh, dear, Geoff, we're going to wheel you over here as we talk to Dean Helliwell, who's here in the studio. Look, it's a bit odd for people who aren't connected to the armed forces to think that part of what you do, especially around sort of this Remembrance Day, is you have a good laugh about things.
Well, I think, you know, especially in the military, we kind of have that gallows humour anyway. We have a very dark sense of humour anyway, and it's either that laugh or cry. But I think when you come back, even more so, and you start having more downtime and more time to think to yourself, and maybe you aren't spending as much time with, you know, the other guys that you spent in service with, it's a lot harder to find the humour in the things that you're doing. So, you know, I think courses like what myself and Geoff have just done.
Oh, you've done a course in this, have you?
Yeah. So we
How do they teach you to do stand-up?
Well, the first part of it was kind of improvisation, so that kind of helped us let go of all those inhibitions and kind of just go with whatever comes to mind at first. So, you know, some of the stuff might be a load of nonsense and rubbish.
I thought you were going to say rude.
No. Well, yeah, that too as well. I think that for military people, that's probably the first part where we go to the first time, yeah. But, you know, and sometimes it can be really good, some of the material that comes out, and then sometimes it can be absolute nonsense, you know. But that improvisation that we start really helps you, you know, drop those barriers that we all put up, which then helps you to kind of start writing your stand-up comedy next, which is the next part that we ended up doing. And we ended up doing our very first stand-up gig at the Backyard Comedy Club over in East London. So, you know, you had...
Well, I bet that was a tough crowd, wasn't it?
Well, I think it weren't too bad because it was half of our guests and half of the people on the course there. But I think, you know, overall, we've had a cracking night there. And then some of the lads have gone on to do... continue doing stand-up. One of our mates, Fred Bell, who's on the course, I think he's on his 27th gig or something now.
So
he's smashing it out, yeah.
What's it like for you, Geoff, in the idea that you can sort of laugh in the face of tragedy and pain and all that sort of thing?
I think the head knowledge that I've taken away from it is the two guys who initiated the course, Neil Davis and Sean Johnson, they'd done the course previously, and what they found is when you're doing improvisation, you're sparring off the person opposite you, as you know, so somebody throws a line, and if you can clear your headspace so you have nothing in there, and then you can deliver your line, that's the way improv works at its best. And what they found was that if you are a PTSD sufferer and you're triggered by a smell, or a sound, it might be firework, it might be a
balloon popping would do it.
Popping would do it. If you can use that technique, what we've learned in improvisation, to clear your mind, then you can push through that and you can carry on and have a normal day.
Do they teach you how to take a heckle? I mean, do people heckle you, or are they generally kind?
Yeah, I think...
Who would heckle him?
yeah. Well, I'm seen as the angry northerner that puts the world to rights, which is probably more so evening TV. let's say,
Yeah,
rather than morning TV.
I
So
understand.
that could be anyone from Workington.
It could be, yeah, exactly, that's it. So.
I banged on Dean's door this morning and he wasn't ready. And if you want to see an angry northerner, there's
Yeah, I can sympathise with that. Look, in terms of, I'll tell you what's interesting, because you raised these coping mechanisms for PTSD and all the rest of it. We focus on those who have lost their lives, and it's important that we do so around remembrance. But it is about those people who have come back and left with, even if it's only a small trauma, it's still something that affects them for the rest of their days.
We live in a veterans community. There's supposed to be 200 of us, but our trustees have kicked 100 out, which is a story for another day.
Yeah, different story, yeah.
But if you come back late at night, sometimes you hear people crying literally out in the night. And it's really, 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 really...
Harrowing.
Really harrowing. And that's what people don't understand, because when you put these people away and you forget about them, they're still having their lives to live.
Yeah.
They've seen something or experienced something that you can't just magic it away. You carry that.
So, are you guys going to be doing something tomorrow? I mean,
Probably, I'm going down on Sunday to do remembrance myself. Tomorrow I'm doing something else, unfortunately. But I know some of the guys from the comedy club are going to be doing stuff on Saturday, aren't they?
Some of the guys, we're not doing anything collectively on this occasion. We're looking for gigs if anybody's...
I'm sure they will.
Absolutely.
Or if you'd like to give our course some money.
Yeah. Can I ask, what do you make of all this hoo-ha over the march tomorrow? The pro-Palestinian march and all the rest of it. Do you think, because there's some veterans quoted in the papers, I mean, actually sort of World War II veterans saying, well, we fought for people to be able to have freedom. But where do you sit on that? Do you have a view, or do you just not think about it?
I agree entirely. People do have a right to march, but there's also that's got to be a line in the sand. And if you're making remarks that are hatred-led, then the answer's got to be no, because you're inciting violence. Yeah. So we've seen violence, abject violence, and we don't want to see that in the streets of London. No. So for me personally, I can only speak for me. I think people should be allowed to march, but march under respectful, because...
Yeah, peaceful protest, isn't it? You know, I think violent... It kind of contradicts what the point of what they're doing's for, isn't it? You know, obviously they're talking about Palestine and obviously... and
peace, really.
Yeah, and peace and, you know, the people stopping doing what they're doing. Yet they're leading a march on a day that's meant to be remembering the people that give up their lives for us to live peacefully. Yeah. You know, so it's all very contradictory, isn't it? So, you know, I mean, it's fair. If they want to march, but again, do it peacefully.
Do it in the right way.
And be respectful, you know, that's the main thing at the end of the day, is being respectful of what that day is meant to hundreds of thousands of people around the country, and the world as well.
Well, because it's not just those people who've actually been and fought, is it? It's also the families who've lost and all that sort of thing as well, isn't it?
But this is actually a brilliant way to end the programme today, because we're hearing it from you, and it's important that you guys are saying that.
Yeah,
very much
absolutely.
Because we all hope and pray that actually it will be peaceful tomorrow.
Yeah. Geoff Reed, Dean Helliwell, good to see you both this morning. Lovely to have a fellow Cumbrian on the show. It's always good.
To speak to one.
It's always good. You can't beat that accent, I tell you.
I'm from the Midland down, just so I don't...
Oh, there you go. We're all tied in together. We'll see you tomorrow.